Joining me now are Congressman Eli Crane from Arizona and Lance Gooden from Texas. Congressman Gooden, you're behind this investigation. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that my colleagues and I have a lot of questions. How much taxpayer funds were spent on this C-17 that brought the president over? Why were Secret Service agents that seem to be underwhelming in their security of Donald Trump posted up in Pennsylvania? Why were no Republicans invited to this event? And just exactly how bad is President Zelensky's judgment to be making this appearance and upsetting half of the American populace? Why is it that he would criticize Donald Trump, who has a very good chance of being commander-in-chief in just a few months? As you said, it was terrible judgment. And what I want to know is, why is he not on his knees thanking Americans, Republicans and Democrats, for the sacrifices they've made for his nation? And how dare he come into our nation and opine on any election, much less the presidential race?
As he's saying, he's not doing that, which is precisely what he's doing. He did have some perfunctory thanks to Americans and legislators in both parties, so he did do that. But Congressman Crane, it looks like Zelensky got everything he wanted. The U.S. is sending an additional $375 million in military aid to Ukraine, including medium-range cluster bombs. Now, this is at the same time as Zelensky insisting that U.S. weapons should be able to be used deeper inside Russian territory. What's the danger here?
Hey, Laura, thanks for having me on. I think you nailed it in your opening when you talked about what this really means. And what this really means, as far as I'm concerned, if Americans elect Vice President Kamala Harris to be the commander-in-chief, you're going to see more chaos around the world. As far as Zelensky campaigning for Vice President Harris, I think it's great. I hope they put him on that C-17, fly him all over the country into every battleground state, just to show the American people how tone deaf they are when they're struggling to make ends meet, struggling to buy gas and groceries. They're afraid to send their kids out into the street because of increased crime. And they know how much money we've sent Ukraine, a couple $100 billion. It's America last. And like I said, I hope they continue to use this campaign strategy with Zelensky, because I think it actually helps us.
Well, Congressman Gooden, as this is unfolding, another $375 million for weapons, and the push is still for using them deep inside Russia. With all that will create, we still have this investigation ongoing into the assassination attempts of President Trump. Now an attempted assassination charge has been lodged against Ryan Ruth. But, Congressman, do you think that the Secret Service and the FBI have been expeditious enough in putting forth the information needed to assure the public that President Trump is safe in these remaining 40-something days before the election?
No, I don't, and my constituents don't either. I've spoken with President Trump several times. He has nothing but high praise for the agents that are detailing him, but the organization as a whole, it not only needs more money, it needs reform. Throwing more money at the problem, which I think is the plan in Congress tomorrow evening before we leave town to campaign, I think that is a mistake. I think we need major reforms at the Secret Service. The fact that this has happened twice now, so close to President Trump, is outrageous to me. The fact that Democrats don't want to talk about it is very alarming, but it's par for the course. If this had happened on the other side, there'd be outrage. But we're just struggling to make sure that the American people know how serious this is, and that we get as much support for President Trump and his protection as we can.
Well, Congressman Crane, once again, Americans have to understand what's at stake here. We have a lot of credibility problems with our domestic institutions, like the Secret Service. And now there's concern about our foreign policy lurching us toward a third world war with Russia, given these types of weapons that could be used deeper inside the former Soviet territory. How concerned are you about our troop levels going into a potential major world war with Russia if Kamala Harris is elected?
I've been concerned about it the whole time, Laura. Like I said, I went to war 3 separate times. This is something that me and several of my colleagues have been trying to keep us out of. But Kamala Harris, and you see with the campaign stunt she just pulled with Zelensky, this is exactly where we're headed. We're going to continue to escalate this war with the biggest nuclear superpower on planet Earth in a very corrupt country that most Americans can't point to on a map. I think it's very dangerous. I think it's foolish, and I think it's arrogant.
Well, and the American people don't want it, at least according to the few polls that are out there. Congressman, thank you very much.
Thank you.